local school board amendments. Senator Reed.
Senator Reed.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a bill that came out of the Education Task Force, and it deals with school board representation. Let me just read this line on line 38 through 41. It says, notwithstanding a local school board status as a body corporate, an elected member of a local school board serves and represents the residents of the local school board member's district, and that service and representation may not be restricted or impaired by the local school board's members' membership on or obligation to the local school board. So it's really weighs the obligations between the corporate board that represents the entire district versus individual board members' responsibility to the constituents that elected them in the first place. And it's providing essentially in the law an understanding that there is a difference and there is an obligation for the elected official to represent their constituents as much or more than the body corporate.
Okay, discussion to House Bill 250. Senator Valentine.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I appreciate this bill because this is a bigger problem than I think sometimes we realize. People get elected to the school board and believe that their loyalty is to the school board and not to the people who elected them. And so even though this looks like just a sleeper of a bill, just another bill on a lazy afternoon, this is a major change because it clarifies for the first time who the fiduciary duty and who the duty of loyalty is on the board members. I cannot tell you how frustrated I have been sometimes appearing before some of our school boards and have them almost tell me verbatim that they are representing the board and this is the board's will and the board is a body and that's who they owe the duty of loyalty to. What House Bill 250 says is, wait a minute, people put you there. We elected you. Your duty of loyalty is to the people you put you there, not to the corporate body or the body politic as we talk about in the law. So I appreciate the bill. I'll support House Bill 250.
Senator Madsen.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to comment on this bill as I did in committee and just follow on the comments from Senator Valentine. I've worked at various levels of government throughout my life. I was in Washington, D.C. at the national and international level for 15 years, spent 3 years on a small city council, and now this is my 10th session in the state legislature. And at each level, I've seen the same phenomenon. When elected officials take office, they begin to interact with the bureaucracy. They begin to develop relationships with the bureaucracy, with department heads and so forth. And what I would characterize as they become co-opted by the bureaucracy. And I think it's human nature. Soon their loyalties lie to the people upon whom they depend for information, the people that they see with much greater frequency than they see the people that elected them to that office. And that causes a problem because the interests of the bureaucracy and the interests of the people who sent us into elected office very rarely align. The bureaucracy has its own interests. Its interest in growing its power and authority, creating empires, making life easier for itself. And the people who elected us most typically just want to be left alone by the bureaucracy. And so there's a big difference between the perception of an elected official that their primary loyalty lies to the institution, to the government, or does it lie to the people that sent them there? And I obviously believe, and I have to always check myself and make sure that I'm not being affected that way as I go through my time in public service. So I really appreciate the way that this bill addresses that all too common phenomenon that happens to elected officials. I remember when I was elected to the city council, we went to training, and part of the training put on by an organization we're all familiar with more than suggested that the only consideration was the city's interests. That's all that we were to weigh, that we really weren't supposed to consider the interests of the individuals who had elected us, and that was bothersome to me at the time. It's still bothersome to me today. So again, I appreciate this bill coming forward. I wholeheartedly support it. I think it gives us all an opportunity to step back and try to set ourselves right as far as who do we really represent, what is our primary, what is our constituency? Is it those who elected us, or is it the bureaucracy? So I support this, and I hope we all will.
Any others? Seeing no more discussion, Senator Reed, back to you for summation.
Thank you, Mr. President. As I said earlier, this bill is a result of our work in the Education Task Force. We had a number of folks testify, both the School Board Association and others, on this issue. And it was a healthy discussion. What we learned from that experience was new school board members are being trained to put the school board as a corporate body above all other interests, first and foremost. I think the task force came down on the side of let's represent our constituents first. I would add that our first loyalty is to ourselves, that we're true to ourselves, then to our constituents that elected us, and then, in this case, the school board as a whole. So for the task force, this is an appropriate piece of legislation. And without further ado, I move that we send this to the second reading calendar.
On third.
Third, excuse me.
Question is, shall House Bill 250 be read for a third time? Roll call vote.
Senator Adams, Bramble,